Welcome back, folks, to Two Brits, One Puck. I'm your host, Mr. Intangibles, and a quiet road boy, Dan Masters, with my good friend, the East Kent Elliot Friedman, and a man who's enjoying the terrible twos, Will Everett Human. Will, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. I'm alright. Very, very, very tired.
Terrible twos, yeah?
Mate, yeah. Like every morning waking up at 6 o'clock to a screaming baby, just demanding things that, not even that you can't deliver, it's just like it gets to a principle thing, doesn't it? Where you're like, I can't be just giving into this fucking 2-year-old every time I ask for something.
You can't... Listen, kid, it's not that you can't have it, it's the principle of the thing, okay?
It is, because like anyone, we're trying to be decent parents, and we're trying not to raise your spoiled brat or whatever it might be, or whoever. But geez Louise, it's just when she's like demanding milk at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're like, right, just wait. You will have your milk, but you have to fucking wait. And it just doesn't stop for. Yeah, I don't really want to go through it again, to be honest. It's a bit of a PTSD moment for me.
Somebody said to me years ago, me and my wife go to this Italian restaurant all the time, so we kind of got to know the owners, and the male half of the ownership was a big football fan, and because we go in quite a lot, he'd always end up coming over to talk to us. When Sarah was pregnant, he said, you know what, everyone's going to give you advice. He said, just listen, nod your head, go home, and just forget about it. He said, you'll find your own way, you'll do your own thing. But that being said, the only piece of advice I've ever given anybody in regards to parenting is never ever give in to your kids. Win every battle, so they just know that there's no pushback. They cannot beat you. There's no way you're going to crumble. Like, once you've made a decision, talked it through, once your mind's made up, that's it. Because then they know. Because now, once I say no, my daughter she never bothers me again. Once I say no, that's it. She doesn't ask for anything. As soon as I say no to something, it's all done. But man, it's so hard. It's so hard.
It feels especially hard at the moment where so she's due to be 3 in a month.
Yeah.
So she's still really young. She's still stupid. She doesn't understand reason and stuff like that. So it's and the arguments are so often about proper pointless shit. It's just like I'm doing myself a fucking pain by having this argument. But like you say, you've got to stick with it.
It's true. Have you got to her asking why for everything yet?
Nah, she has a bit of a why. It's more like, I don't know, you can sort of tell that she's just got it off the telly or whatever. You can just ignore her still, and she doesn't really mind too much about it.
I got to shout out Jason Paul, who put out a tweet last week saying about that when they decided to have kids, looking after them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week wasn't in the handbook. What am I supposed to do? At some point, I thought they'd be going to school and stuff like that, and now they're not.
That's the thing, isn't it? So like today, you just get those days where you're like, right, it's all caught up with me. I've got nothing in the tank. I can't deal with life today. I'm absolutely just and Grace has been at work since midday. And it's like, right, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Fucking suck it up, mate.
We said when we were pregnant, oh, my daughter's never going to sit and watch TV for 2 hours a day and blah, blah, blah. And by the time she got to sort of 18 months, we stopped her crying once because she watched Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And that was it. We were like, right, okay, she can watch TV. TV's fine.
She's a telly baby forever. Yeah. I remember my mother-in-law saying to me, my daughter was having a terrible day of just not eating, not wanting to eat anything. Not that she was ill or anything, it's just being difficult. And my mother-in-law just saying, look, it doesn't matter if all she has for dinner is cheese, crackers, a fucking 45 yogurts and whatever, a couple of grapes. As long as she's got some food in her that isn't just chocolate bars. Don't worry about giving her meat and 2 veg. Make sure she's eating something that isn't purely sugar, and don't worry about the rest of it. And it's those moments, I think, the only advice you ever need as a parent, or at least I've found I needed, is someone in your life that you respect as like a grown up and as a parent themselves, to just say, don't fucking worry about it.
I do think we forget that when we were kids, all I ate was shit all the time. There wasn't. I know when my parents were just starting out, there wasn't this nutritional advice for parents, or make sure your kids eat this, or I'd just come from school, Mum, can I have a Mars bar? She'd be like, yeah, sure. I'd chase it down with half a pint of Coke.
And it's not even asking. It's just like, right, here you go. I'm just taking it.
I'm getting a Mars bar. I know before my wife would have her tea, she always said, like, before she'd have her tea, she'd always have a bag of crisps. And you see parents now, like, if they give their kid a packet of crisps, you can see all the parents looking at them going, that's disgraceful. You're trying to kill your child, aren't you, with that packet of crisps? They should be having carrot sticks or celery. You think, who gives a shit? It's just a packet of crisps. It's fine.
After the day she said, yes, I am trying to kill her with this packet of crisps, actually.
I hope she has a potato allergy, actually.
I hope she gets one of those really sharp ones and doesn't quite catch up and having to get stuck. And
one of my favourite things is with the advent of social media and stuff like that, the first-time parents who will put on Facebook when their kid's sort of 3 days old, 5 days old. Oh my God, look at my prince or princess. They're so precious. They're my entire world. I couldn't imagine life without them. It gets to about 7 or 8 months and they're just putting on, I'm so tired. Please help me. Please help me. I wish I was dead. Like, yeah, every time.
Somebody help me. Our neighbours have just had a baby last week. So, but since the last podcast was recorded. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to watch their journey.
Yeah, their descent into madness.
Yeah, I think they're definitely in the honeymoon period at the moment. So it's yeah, we'll see how their one turns out.
Mate, I gotta say as well, it doesn't get easier. We have it now that my daughter will eat peas from a restaurant, but if you give her peas at home, she looks at me and just says, "What's this?" Oh, well, they're peas, George. You like peas? She's like, "No, I do not." Yes, I've seen you eat them in the restaurant. She's like, "Yeah, but they're restaurant peas. They're nice." I'm like, fucking whatever. God. You can be so horrible.
You need to step your game up, mate. Your pea game's fucking... She doesn't want them just, in a Tupperware with a little bit of water and the lid half on, chucked in the microwave for 2 minutes. That's not enough.
Yeah, your fucking pea game's weak, Dad. What are you doing? You're trying to kill me. Bruv. You're right, though. When it comes to stuff like food and stuff like that, it's so much better now. I mean, we do so much better. I mean, how many... Even stupid stuff like ready meals and stuff like that, they're so much better than they used to be. I think now you have to go out of your way if you're trying, to give your kid a bad diet, because there's so much good stuff out there.
Yeah, I see it as like I do with a lot of things. If you worry about it, you're doing all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. Yeah. All right, let's get on with it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay then, I'm not sure how to lead into this, but it's obviously terrible news about Colby Cave. I said last week he had a really tough road ahead of him to try and beat this thing, and obviously, unfortunately, he didn't. Very, very, very sad news, as we said, for somebody so young. And the Colby Cave Memorial Fund has been set up. They're accepting donations right now, if anybody wants to do such a thing. Just really terrible. It was beautiful to see the sort of outpouring of emotion from the local community, and I think that's sometimes that's one of those things that sports can do, is that it can bring people together and communities together. And if somebody makes it to the big league from a certain town or a certain place, there is that kind of pride there. So to see sort of, 8-9 miles of cars like lined up for after the funeral or before the funeral,
I think
was a lovely thing to see.
It's fantastic. Yeah. It shows that communities like that, no matter what the situation is, even in times like this with COVID-19, they're able to show their outpouring of support for the Cave family in any way they possibly can. Yeah, obviously thoughts from us going out to Emily and the rest of the Cave family. It's horrendous. There's nothing else to say about it. It's absolutely horrible.
All right, let's move on. There was an interview with Drew Doughty this week for ESPN, which everyone was going nuts over, but I just thought it was an honest, frank interview. As we've said before, Drew Doughty speaks his mind, and that makes him some kind of hockey rebel, but whatever. He doesn't think the season's coming back. What do you think?
I think he's naive because it is blatantly going to come back in some way, shape or form. It's all dependent in that because we don't really know exactly what's going to happen. But if there is any possibility of them squeezing hockey games in between now and the end of 2020, Gary Bettman will absolutely do it. But I don't think... I agree. I think it's just purely depends. I think they'll find some sort of way, even if it ends up being that whole idea of shucking them all up in a Butlins and doing it that way. I think I could see it.
Fucking Butlins.
Get them all down.
There's a reference.
Get them all down to Bognor. I can just have get a little temporary rink like those ones you get in the shopping centres.
Yeah.
No, I think they're going to try their hardest to do it because they want to get some sort of. It's all about the revenue, isn't it? At the end of the day, trying to get something, squeeze something out at the end of this season. But it might be a case of they're not able to do it at all. But considering the US are looking at trying to lift the lockdown and stuff ASAP, I can imagine it's going to happen at some point this summer, isn't it? What do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? Do you know why? Because did you know Florida? Did you know that Florida is saying that wrestling and UFC are essential businesses?
So I didn't bother reading into those because why would you? But are they saying that people are allowed to attend them? Or
no, but the shows can't. So what they've been doing, so WWE and AEW, the two biggest wrestling companies in America, have been doing empty arena shows.
Mm-hmm.
But the wrestlers are there, and they'd recorded, I think, 4 or 5 weeks in advance. They just knocked. They weren't doing live shows. They were just knocking them all out, taped, and then after they're just sending the tape into the production company who's running them and saying, "Okay, here's this week's show. Play it. That's fine." But there was the question of what's going to happen this week because this is the last week of shows you've got in the can. So how are you going to do a show? And then Florida came out and said, "Well, yeah, wrestling's an essential business to us, so we're going to allow them to start recording shows again." Now, call me crazy, but if wrestling's essential, what's stopping the NHL going to Florida and saying, "Well, you must have loads of practice rinks here, or can we not just use those rinks for say like 6 weeks and bang everything out and get it done?" Like Florida will say, "Yeah, of course you can."
That's the worry, that you're going to find some state like Florida who's particularly interested in what they could get out of it for their own gain sort of thing. Because if the state, I don't know how it works, but if the state of Florida say, right, yeah, you can have the NHL playoffs here, but you have to pay us 15% of your gate receipt, not gate receipt, but you know what I mean? There's going to be some sort of kickback, then you're going to get... Because obviously the state Florida government are doing this for the WWE and UFC for a reason that's probably linked to monetary gain. So yeah,
of course.
Like you said, I'll probably do it for all the sports. And what's going to go down better than the Stanley Cup playoffs being played in the middle of July in fucking Miami, Florida?
In the Keys.
Literally in the Keys.
Yeah, literally in the Keys. Here comes Marchand down the ice. Oh, his puck's sunk again. Oh, well. Try again. Let's have a face-off, boys.
Somebody fish it out, please.
Yeah, anyone got a big net? Here's what we kind of forget in this country sometimes, is that we kind of... people in this country forget how big America is, and it's not run like our country. There's so many... Like state guidelines and state law and all that kind of thing. We just don't have that over here. We just don't have county law. The law in England is the law. It's not a case of you can go from Cheshire to Lancashire and it's completely different. Like you could go from, say, Florida to Carolina or something like that. Or
imagine.
So every state kind of has to be treated like a mini country, and they're all out for themselves, aren't they? And if you're the first state to get back up and running, you are going to get a massive financial boost. A massive financial boost.
Yeah, mate, it's all too much, too sort of, it's over my head, basically. I don't fucking know what to think about any of it. I don't know like the legality of doing any of it, especially in our country, let alone in America. I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
For people in this country, it would be the same as that. It would be you live in your county, and in your county, crime A is a crime, but you could move to the county next door, and that crime is now not a crime. That's how it works with state law in America. There are certain things where it's a crime in one state, not a crime in like marijuana and stuff like that. In some states, it's legal. In other states, it's not.
Isn't it even the case of like it can be a crime in state A and you move, and it can be a crime in state B as well, but you move from state A to state B, and they're like, well, he's crossed state lines, so fuck off.
Oh yeah, and yeah, all that kind of thing comes into it as well. Duking the stats and, well, where does this crime count then? Because now he lives in state B. Well, it's not really, well, he's moved to your state. That's now your crime. Well, I think he committed it in your state, so it's your crime. There's no, all the states are trying to one-up each other.
You're trying to
it's just mad that
extradite a geezer 12 miles.
If Florida says that these businesses are essential and lets them go ahead, they're just going to say to the NHL, yeah, that's fine, you can have all your games here, but you're giving us 20% of all your gate, or you're giving us 20% of all revenues or all profits from this happening.
The profit,
I mean, or the TV money or something, because they're not gonna get fans there, but there'd be something like the TV money or something like that.
The financial aspect of it is what's curious to me as well, because you're not going to be able to make You're not going to be able to play all the games. You're not going to be able to finish the regular season and the playoffs. And you're not going to be able to have any fans there, no matter how you do it. So where do they make the money back? They're not going to make all of it back, obviously. But they're going to try their damnedest to do it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? Would you, they're saying that, well, the NHL, if it doesn't go, they're going to lose $1 billion. Well, okay, then how about you lose 500 million? All right, you've lost 500 million, but hey, you've not lost $1 billion, have you? So,
but even then,
not as bad as it could have been.
So the only way they're going to be able to make money on these games is by having them on telly, yeah?
Or unless they do maybe like a pay-per-view or something.
But that's the question. Surely, in theory, they're already in deals with NBC, Sportsnet, whoever else has got like the local games, or I know TSN has got some games in Canada. Those deals are already set for those games, yeah?
Yeah.
So, and these aren't extra games that are being played. If anything, the TV deals are being outdone because they're still gonna have less games. So the NHL isn't suddenly going to be able to be like, right, NBC, you were meant to have 30 playoff games or whatever it is. You're not actually going to have you're not going to have any of the regular season games that you're missing, and you're not going to have those because we're going to make them pay-per-view. That's not going to happen. The Cup finals on broadcast nationally everywhere, yeah. Some of the big series as well will be broadcast nationally, but then every individual series, say you've got...
Actually, yeah, they're on local. Yeah, they're on like your local affiliate kind of thing.
Yeah, and then like maybe working up steps and steps depending on who it is, sort of thing. Like, I'd imagine Sportsnet are playing every single playoff game with a Canadian team in it. But even if it is just fucking Arizona versus Vancouver and it's only being broadcast on the local stations or whatever, those deals and the money for those games will likely have already been passed.
Well, that's what you do then, though. You open it up to a pay-per-view so that anyone in the country can watch it, not just if you're in Arizona or Vancouver. And the NHL doesn't really care about fucking over the local affiliates, are they? They don't give a shit about them.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, say it's Nesson who cover the Bruins. What are Nesson going to do? Well, we don't want to cover the Bruins anymore. No, of course they're going to cover the Bruins. So if the NHL says, well, sorry, you actually don't have these games anymore. None of the local affiliates have the games anymore. We're going to broadcast them as pay-per-view to make money back.
I suppose it's
what
like
they're going to do.
Like the blackouts on NHL TV. They're saying any game that would be available, not blacked out in your area, is now 20 quid a pop or whatever.
I mean, they are going to lose money, aren't they? Because some of those seats go for like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine logging into pay-per-view. Hey, you want to watch this first round game between, I don't know, fucking Dallas and Winnipeg? $150, please. Like, what? Like, not paying that.
Now, what they do, they tier it like seats. So obviously, say you get centre ice, you get 20
it's a good
back.
idea.
So you pay a tenner, to watch the game. You get one camera angle.
Love it. And it's standard def.
Yeah, standard def, and it's like really fucking high up and really far away.
No, it's black. It's black and white.
Black and white. You only get Pierre Maguire. You don't even get Doc and Eddie, just Pierre. But it's
it's not even Pierre commentary. It's just Pierre between the benches. Yeah, it's nothing else. It's just
it's like they've muted Doc and Eddie's mics.
Everything. Yeah, it's just Pierre. It's just Pierre, and it's in black and white.
if you want the full kit and caboodle, it's like $200, and then you have to pay $50 extra if you want the replays.
Yeah, then if you pay $500, there's no Pierre. So. Shit, we got something, dude. You want 4 camera angles, no Pierre, high definition. I'll be $1,000, please.
Payable immediately.
Yeah.
Overtime, that'd be another 400 quid, please, mate.
Oh my god, yes. Could you imagine? It stops after 60 minutes and the feed just goes off. You want to watch overtime, that's an extra $150.
This is fucking...
Because it's that thing, though. Like, you're telling me that hockey fans, if they did something as egregious as that, hockey fans are going to say, well, that's it. I'm never watching hockey again. No, of course they wouldn't. They might not pay it, but they're not going to run away from the sport.
I don't know if you heard, Dan, but in 2004, they actually didn't play an entire season. Didn't play a single game.
TVs were permanently black.
Because Jeremy Jacobs didn't have enough money. And,
that's right.
And would you believe it? 2005-6 season rolls around. Fans came back without missing a beat. Funny that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I do think it's gonna happen. Because if Florida do that and they see, do you know what it's going to be? It's going to be if Florida sees any uptick in their sort of state finances or anything from letting this happen, Now, maybe it is a case that we've said, like, maybe they are going to bleed WWE or AEW for a percentage of TV money or something like that. So if they start to increase a bit financially, other states are going to do it. They really will. Because they, like I say, everyone only cares about themselves. I think it'll happen.
The thing about doing it for me is, even if you're doing it behind closed doors, which is kind of an inevitability as far as I'm concerned at this point, as we saw with various sporting events that happened while we were sort of winding down into the lockdowns around the world. Like take the PSG game that they played behind closed doors in Paris before France went on lockdown. You got fucking 20,000 geezers outside the stadium.
Yeah.
Are you telling me?
That's true.
If you say, "Oh right, we're gonna do this Olympic Village type thing, and it's gonna be in fucking Tallahassee, Florida, or whatever," you're not gonna get at least a few hundred fucking numpties outside of the rink. Yes,
yeah, you're right.
So to an extent, to me, it's almost like promoting gatherings in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
So
You've got a good point.
It's a little bit irresponsible.
And I still think if you start the season, you either go straight into the playoffs with the teams in the places as they are now, or you have to have 2 or 3 games. You can't have certain teams playing and other teams waiting around. You cannot do that.
No. Well, what do you think of that? Have you had the back to 68 games idea?
No, what was that?
So it's like, I think everyone's played 68 games at this point, so you sort of turn the clock back and cut it off at whatever the standings were when everyone had played 68 games.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Fucking whatever.
I get it, and as we've said before, yeah, I'm sure bubble teams are going to be upset, but don't be a bubble team then.
If they're going to bring it back, fucking whatever. Like none of it matters. None of the regular season matters now anyway. So it's all much of a muchness. And as everyone said, there's going to be asterisk after asterisk against this season. If you're that eager to get the games back, none of it matters anyway. It doesn't matter. Just pick the fucking teams.
Nobody cares.
You want in it.
Nobody talks about now that the Blackhawks won the cup in a shortened season. No one ever mentions it.
It's just
they just won the cup that year.
They
won the cup. That's it.
I think that's a little bit different because at least it was like not deliberately shortened, but like the season was structured with the fact that it was going to be shortened in mind.
Yeah, but
I'm with you.
I've not heard anybody say in the last 4 years, well, the Blackhawks won 3 cups, of course. But one of them was kind of a bit, nah. No one ever says that. They won 3 cups and no one cared. That's it. They just did.
You've still got to play the games and win the games that you're given, sort of thing, innit?
Exactly. And if you don't want to be a bubble team, be better than a bubble team. Sorry. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, you've had fucking 3 quarters of a season to get here. Like,
you had 68 games to do something.
If only we had those extra 14, we really were going to make a difference there.
We really would have seen. Yeah, but then we wouldn't have got this season's Blues, would we? That would have been the problem.
The team that's rocketing up the standings.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of teams going the other way, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a little thing on Sportsnet about the 2017 Sens, and Erik Karlsson had a little review of a couple of the best players from that playoff run. And it was only a 5-minute thing, but he obviously talked about that Saucer pass to Mike Hoffman against the Bruins that was just fucking unreal. Yeah, but they talked about a couple of other things that were interesting. There was a goal that Derek Brassard scored against somebody after Karlsson had absolutely given him hell. Also against the Bruins, I think Brassard had stopped skating, and it meant that Craig Anderson had to come out and try and make a play. And a Bruins player got in front. There was like a bit of a kerfuffle, and then the Bruins scored to go up 2-1. And Karlsson said that he kind of feels embarrassed now, but you can see him absolutely tearing into Brassard on the bench. And I'd never noticed it before, but it's like, fucking hell, yeah. Like, he is giving him... And you think Karlsson's like this cool, calm Swede, and he's absolutely roasting Brassard. And then probably 10 minutes after, with probably about 5 minutes to go into the third, Karlsson's skating around the blue line, and then 2 Bruins players follow him, because obviously it's Karlsson on the puck, so we've got to try and stop him. And he just finds a wide open Brassard. They have this massive hug and a celebration, and Karlsson said, like, that, that was my favourite goal of the playoffs. For us to be arguing, and then for us to put that play together, showed like we actually did have team spirit, and it was interesting. But we have to at some point, and I know it's an old joke, we have to follow the tree of disaster that follows after that run and do a show on it. We could do a whole episode on it, and we should. And I don't know why no one's done it yet. Because it's insane, everything that happened. Just from then, from the start of that season. And we all said about, like, what was it? There was something about the Matt Duchene trade and how the knock-on from him leaving, suddenly the Avalanche are unbelievable. Nathan McKinnon, as soon as Matt Duchene leaves, Nathan McKinnon becomes Nathan McKinnon, and we're like, holy shit, where's he been? And it's insane that as soon as Duchene leaves, that happens. And then all the ramifications of the picks that came after that, all the trades that came after that, all the things that happened then because of Nashville, because of that trade. And somehow further down the line, I'm sure it was the Marc-Andre Fleury save against the Leafs. Somebody traced it back somehow to that Matt Duchene trade. I can't remember how. It might have been that save. It might have been something else crazy that happened. But somebody put, like, here's the tree of what happened after that trade. And you're like, Jesus Christ, you're right. And we should do it. We should absolutely do an episode on it, because I think it's so interesting. And they're rebuilding now. So, and like we say, they've kind of gone a bit quiet, and apart from Eugene doing the odd crazy Eugene thing, but that's just Eugene, isn't it? But
yeah, in theory, we're on the other end of it, sort of thing.
Yeah, and that team photo from... Yeah, because I was watching this clip, and it was Erik Karlsson, Mike Hoffman, Mark Stone. I was like, oh yeah, Mark Stone used to play for the Sens, didn't he? Just totally out of my mind. Just totally forgot.
Mika Zibanejad.
Mark Stone used to play for the Sens. Like, oh yeah, I forgot that guy.
It's one of those ones, like, I know it's easy to rag on them, but they could have had a starting five today of Karlsson, Shabbat, Stone, Zibanejad, and fucking Mike Hoffman. Like, or even Brady Tkachuk. It's fucking ridiculous. I know. Absolutely ridiculous.
I know you made the joke after it while we were in the middle of it, and we do one of our Sens classic shows, and you said there's that team photo where they've superimposed the jerseys of the teams they play for now, and it was like 18 months or 2 years after or something, and 90% of them were all in different jerseys, or they were in the KHL, or they just stopped playing hockey. You just think, Christ.
It's scary, isn't it? Arguably the most, you talk about dynastic teams as going down in history, like this has got to be the most horrific dynasty to go down in history, you know what I mean?
It's true. And we have talked about it before, and we always forget. You forget things that happened. And you'll say something, and I'm thinking, what the hell's he talking about? I'm like, oh yeah, Cody Ceci set someone on fire, didn't he?
That's exactly the one that I was just thinking of.
Yeah, and you just think, what? Do you remember that time, like 5 or 6 of the players were slagging their coach off in an Uber? You think, oh yeah, I remember that. That was insane. But there's so many more than that.
It was the most ludicrous time in sports I think I've ever heard of.
If you used clips of them doing things on the ice, like we do sometimes in the show, if you could use clips of them and have them just talking over while you talked about it and like intercut them, I think it'd make for a fascinating piece of audio.
Especially like they were so bad on the way down.
Yeah, it was everything went wrong. It wasn't just it wasn't just they traded some players away and weren't good anymore. It was everything, wasn't it? It was all off the ice stuff as well.
You could like almost use it as like a laugh track or a visual metaphor for
a laugh track.
Not only was Cody Ceci setting people on fire, he was also completely unable to make a breakout pass for 3 years.
We should do it. We really should.
Maybe when we get to the summer, and because we haven't had hockey forever, we've got literally nothing to talk about.
Well, the problem's going to be when we get to summer, it's going to be too much hockey because they're trying to cram the season. We'll have no off season, dude. It'd be terrible.
It's going to be like the free agency and the playoffs at the same time.
They need to do something like that. They need to go like a power week or something. It's like the finals and the draft and free agency. Just fuck it, just roll it all into one. Who cares?
They should do that anyway. Be a much more interesting way to schedule the summer.
All right. There was an Alex McGillney doc on Sportsnet this week put up, which was pretty interesting. Did you manage to catch any of it?
I got like halfway through it. It was really good. I just got to the bit where they're getting him to defect. Like they're in Stockholm with him. And he's at the embassy, and they're just trying to work out the final details of getting him back to the US.
Yeah, so it was Jerry Meehan, the Sabres GM at the time, was narrating it, and Don Luce, who was the director of player personnel, and they were talking about Alex McGillney, and he was the first ever Soviet player to defect to America, and what I found interesting was more the political side of it. Is it you kind of don't realise at the time, because this is I think probably like towards the end of the Cold War, or it was still at least fresh in memories because my history is terrible. I don't know when it ended, but Russia and American tensions were still not great. The Soviets have been absolutely dominant in hockey for years and years, And they had all these young players coming through. And obviously Alex McGillney was one of them. And Don Luce was there, and he saw this guy playing, and he said, like, this guy might be the best player I've ever seen. So gets to the draft, they take him number 89 overall, and people are surprised because they're thinking, well, why are you taking this? Why are you taking Alex McGillney? He's never going to leave the Soviet Union. No one's ever defected. That's ridiculous. 5 months later, the day after a tournament in 1989, Alex McGillney calls Don Luce and says, "Yeah, I want to come to America." And then it turns into the Bourne Identity or James Bond or something.
That's the thing, because like a lot of hockey fans know the story anyway. If it's the end of some I think it was the World Championships, the end of some.
Yeah, it might have been actually. Yeah,
international tournament. They they fly out to Sweden to pick him up, and they hide in the embassy, and then they take him off, and all the first players with a defect from the USSR. But seeing this documentary and the interviews with Jerry Meehan and Don Luce, like, it was so much more serious than that. It really sort of hammered home to me that A, it's not really a jaunty tale at all, it's quite fucking serious, and B, Alex McGillney was a great player and everything, but fucking hell, it's just hockey, boys, like, you don't need to...
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Okay, so this is in the second half that you've obviously not seen yet, but McGillney was also an army officer.
Yeah.
Because all Soviet men had to do their national service.
Yeah, because that way you were in...
It wasn't just they're losing a great hockey player. They are thinking, we've got a guy who's an army officer who can tell the Americans things about our armed forces. We can't have this. This is a massive issue we've got here.
When Jerry Meehan or Donnelly phones a guy from immigration while they're out in Stockholm, I was just thinking, mate, right, we're a National Hockey League team, Buffalo Sabres. We're pulling a fucking international military operation to kidnap a Russian spy.
But that's how the Russians saw it, wasn't it? Because he had to apply for political asylum. He was charged with being a deserter in Russia.
Because he
had charges. He had charges against him in Russia.
I'm not saying it's right at all, and like obviously McGillney should have had the freedom to leave and play hockey in America or wherever the fuck he wanted to play it. But given the situation, not worth it if you ask me.
Yeah, but dude, you know what sports is like? It is mad, isn't it? It's like, you can imagine Don Luce and Jerry Meehan sat in there. They're just sitting there talking about McGillney. Well, we might cause an international incident or a nuclear war. And then the other one goes, yeah, but he can deke like a motherfucker. Let's go. Just on the plane. Off we go.
That is the thing, though. He was, at the time, he was Ovechkin. He was like
he was unbelievable.
The best player in Russia. Only 19 or 20 when he defected, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was 20. Yeah.
So all right. So now it's like Bill Guerin going over and stuffing Kirill Kaprizov in a fucking potato sack and chucking him in the back of a transit and driving him back to Minnesota.
No. Do you know what it'd be? It'd be some North Korean lad that they've seen. Bill Guerin's drafted this North Korean dude at like 117 overall. Why are you going to get him out of North Korea? It's like, aha, I know someone who can help. Get me Jerry Meehan.
we keep hearing stories of this Kim Jong-un, who's got like all these records in North Korean hockey leagues. Not just the hockey leagues, mind you. This guy's a multi-sport athlete.
That would have been amazing.
I hit a hole-in-one when I was 9 months old, and it was the first time I'd ever seen a golf ball.
Did you see, it was pretty cool as well. I mean, he was only on it very briefly, but it was pretty cool seeing Fedorov on there. Because he said, didn't he, something about, what did you think about it? And he said, well, I'm not going to say.
I know it was right at the beginning, and the woman who's interviewing him says, can you tell me about when he left? And Fedorov was like, no, I can't.
Yeah, no, I can't.
But yeah, you're right. It didn't hit me at the time, and now you're saying the whole army thing. It's like he still probably has that fear, quite rightly. I know I would. Of like, shit, well, I'm not saying fucking anything.
Yeah, well, McGillney, I don't know if this was in the bit you saw or not, but McGillney asks Fedorov to go with him. He said, are you going to come with me? Come with me. And he said, no, I can't yet. I don't think I can.
He says, nah,
and obviously he did. Obviously he did later, but yeah, he could have gone at the same time. McGillney wanted them to go together, basically.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Like
really.
for the other side of it, not just the hockey side.
Really, really interesting story.
To finish off, did you know how it got smoothed over in the end, and who made sure that his political asylum request was granted and all that kind of thing?
No.
The owner of the Sabres at the time, Seymour Knox III, was friends with the president, who made sure it all went through okay. So McGillney was basically Basically the president sorted it out that McGillney could stay in America because the owner of the Sabres and the president kind of knew each other.
Would that have been who came after Ronald Reagan?
It was Bush. I think it was Bush Jr.
Bush.
No, Bush Senior.
Bush Senior. Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
Sorry, it's not what you know, Dan. It's you know.
I mean, to be fair, now Trump's had those meetings with Kim Jong-un, maybe Bill Goring can go over and get that young North Korean lad. Maybe it'll all be okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe that's why Trump was smoothing out the wrinkles there. All right. Before we move on, we're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and in one of the hidden bunkers on Call of Duty Warzone. And if you could leave a 5-star review, that would be lovely. And this part of the show is brought to you in conjunction with the good people over at Wave Intel. While you are sat on the toilet trying to avoid your kids, shout out to Will, then please head over to Wave Intel and check out all of their easy-to-read comparison chart, GM drafting kits, and much more. Wave Intel online and on Twitter, being smart, so you don't have to. Do you know what? In the cold light of day, you won that draft last week.
Oh, mate, it was a million years ago. I can't even remember.
Just quickly, do you know what was the worst thing? Was that when I listened back, you took 5 players that I was going to take with literally my next pick. There was 5 of them you took off me, and I think they just all tipped the balance.
Yeah, problem with that though is you should have taken those players, really, shouldn't you?
I mean, if only there was something I could have done, Will.
if only you could have possibly done anything about it.
You know. So this week's draft, all right. This week's draft is going to be interesting. We are drafting players based off the first letter of the player's last name. Once that letter goes, we can't draft it again using that letter until all letters have been used. For example, if I take Ross Johnston, then J is unavailable until all the letters have been used. The only letter we will not be using is, of course, the letter X. And this did involve some serious planning because certain letters are represented a lot better than others, aren't they? And I think you don't want to get caught with absolute dross later on at a certain position.
There are some seriously underrepresented letters and some kind of surprising ones.
Yes, some surprisingly very well represented letters.
I'm really scared about this one. It's better because
I'm really scared about this one. I'm terrified about this one. Oh, I will say as well, quickly, because we wanted to make it a bit more difficult for ourselves and we're not limiting ourselves that much, there are players who are off limits. Because I think if you take any of these players, it's just a bit boring. You don't really have to think about it. So obviously Gretzky, Lemieux, Orr, Hasek, Lidstrom, Crosby, and Howe are off the table.
Oh, Lidstrom's
were there any
off the table.
You thought? Sorry?
I didn't realise Lidstrom was off the table. I'll get him off my list.
Yes, of course he is.
Yeah, I know. This is what I'm talking about. There's a lot going on.
So, was there anyone else you thought of? I'm just making sure you're okay with those.
I mean, yeah, there are other players that you could just get rid of, but I don't necessarily want to get rid of them.
I agree. I think they'd be the most obvious choices at not even certain positions.
It's hard. I think they're good as proper legends. You can have. There will still be some fantastic players left over. We're not going to be stuck for great players, but the limitation, as with the sort of the decade draft thing, the limitation here is covering all your bases, because we're doing the rule where you have to take someone from every letter. So I have to have someone from every letter in my team, and you have to have someone from every letter in your team.
Oh, no. Forgetting X. Once A to Z are cleared out, we then go back to the start. But if you've got 2 Bs in your team, when we get back around, that's fine.
Okay, yeah. All right.
But we have to run through all the letters first.
Yeah.
And I'm first pick, aren't I? Which is terrible for me.
Did I picked first, didn't I? Yeah, because I got Patty B.
Yeah, you took God with your first overall last week.
Is he the longest tenured Bruin now?
Bergeron, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's mental.
And he's better now. Isn't that insane?
Yes, he's a crazy guy. I haven't got him in my list. Probably should.
We'll come back to this.
This is the thing. There are so many moving parts. You've got to get good players and make sure you're not. It's too much. I'm gonna come out with an embarrassing team out of this.
Oh, this one more than any other, I am convinced I'm going to say at some point, oh my God, how did I not pick that guy?
How have I forgotten?
Whereas others, I've kind of thought, I probably should have taken him a bit earlier. But on this one, I'm convinced it's going to be someone I just completely forgot. You have to take certain positions first because certain letters represented better at certain positions. So there might be a bunch of really good left-handed D-men with I don't know, like the letter X, for example, as a joke. So you've kind of got to take that quick because you don't want to get stuck there with a left-handed D-man who's represented by the letter Q or something. Because you're like, well, there's no one. They're crap. Like, what am I supposed to do?
That's the thing. Like, you almost want to find a poorly represented letter that's got one really good player in there, so you get that player, so you don't get effed over later.
Yeah, and again, it is tactical. Once I pick a letter, that's it. Like, once I pick a letter C, no more C's left for Will, or B's or A's or whatever. So until we go back around.
Speaking of the letter C, do you know how many centres I've got in my list?
40.
But 31. And it's like, I didn't know how to prepare a list for this. Do I want fucking an entire team's worth of players for every letter? Like, yes, I do, ideally. But that's unrealistic.
All right, let's get this show on the road.
Okay, I think I know.
First overall pick. Dude, this is terrifying.
I think I know who I'm going to... I think I know who my two choices are.
I've already typed it in.
Go on.
These are all really good players, people, okay? They're all really good players. But I just know at some point, I'm going to pick a player, and Will's going to go, him, and then chuckle like you do.
I love how before first overall was like, right, I know I'm going to pick a bad player, but hear me out.
I had this player straight away, so I'm going to do it. Left defenseman, I'm taking Raymond Bourque.
Oh, nice. That's a good choice. Yeah, he was my second rated lefty, and then quickly became my first rated lefty when you
dropped some Lidstrom knowledge on you.
when you took Lidstrom away. Oh, you've gone a different direction. I think I'm already going to take a.
You're going to stay.
It's about your own preparation as well, because like there are certain letters that I'm looking at here, and I'm like, how have I only got this many players?
Oh yeah, we could discuss afterwards. Like, there's only one good player for this letter. How is that possible? Or one player that I would at least want. Like, how is that possible?
I'm gonna go with a goalie for my first.
Fuck off! You're not.
I am. I'm gonna take Patrick Waugh with the second overall pick.
I am surprised. at that.
I'm panicking. I don't think Patrick Waugh's a bad goalie though, is he?
I mean, he's all right, isn't he?
He's okay.
He's not bad.
He's okay. Probably the best goalie there.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And this is what I'm talking about. Am I underprepared for the letter R? Potentially.
Am I underprepared for the letter R? That's fantastic.
You're going to turn around like, Bobby Robinson, who scored 2,000 points in a season.
He played from 1824 to 1873.
Well, on that note as well, like the thing I hate about doing all-time teams is like I know fucking dick all about player X from the 70s or 80s, apart from
it's true. It's like when we did the European team and I picked Fedorov, and you were kind of surprised. And I was like, dude, I fucking loved Fedorov.
I know in my heart that Sergei Fedorov is really, really fucking good, but it's like,
but you don't know
how good is he compared to fucking Nick Backstrom or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know he's good, but you don't know he's good.
Yeah, so I think I've tended to lean more towards more modern players. Like I haven't got many players from like the 60s.
Do you know what? Okay, that might surprise you.
Cummy Burton, the letter B.
Dude, editing these is so much fun. There's such massive fucking blocks of silence. It's hilarious.
Just really easy. Like, right, see you later.
Yeah.
Literally made 2 picks. Make your third pick. Come on.
Because I like to get this position sorted out. Right shot D. I'm taking Al McInnes.
Okay, yeah. See, I thought you'd go more modern.
I'm fairly sure I know who you mean, but it was a toss-up between a couple of players. But yes, come on.
McInnes or Eric Carlson.
I wasn't thinking Eric Carlson. But
we not.
No, I wasn't, genuinely.
I think I'm going to risk it all and just keep going.
Another goalie, yeah?
Oh, no, you know who I'm fucking taking. I'm taking Steve Yzerman.
Are you taking Yzerman?
Yeah.
I think that's mad to take him early doors.
Who else are you taking at Y, though?
Well, nobody. But by the time we come back around, we're not going to be taking Y again, are we?
This is an issue with, like, approach to the thing, though, isn't it? Like, I'd rather take Yzerman and know I've got an incredible player and not be stuck with, like, having to take some Y player. Do you know what I mean?
Jeff Yemen.
Jeff Yemen from the Yemen.
I love the fake names we come up with for certain players from back in the day.
Jeff Yemen.
All right, delete him off. Okay. I get so sweaty doing these. It's this is terrible.
It's just too much.
I'm going to take a centre.
Go on, treat yourself.
Yeah, let's do it. I had him in my head. I'm going to go with it. I'm taking Joe Sakic.
Ooh, okay. Ooh. Now,
Dude, that takes out so many players. Shit.
I've got too many pages going on. I've got like an A to Z list. I've got this
Me too.
who people have taken, and I've got position 1.
Nice.
So I'm trying to manage too many sheets at once. I'm choosing between 2 players, a forward and a D, and I can't quite decide. I think I'm going to go the D because the letter's a bit more limited in my viewing. I'm going to take a left shot defenseman by the name of Scott Niedermayer.
Okay.
And I just don't know how I feel about any of it.
I just don't know what to do.
So many players just left.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Already there's so many players off. It's fucking ridiculous. Okay, I got to take Yager.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
That was that was too easy.
You don't want to mess it up too much, do you?
No, you can't. I can't.
Don't
I can't
want
leave Yager out there for like another 3 or 4 picks.
Don't want to
10th overall.
overthink it. It's my number. Oh, I've already taken him. What a legend! I'm getting another centre. I'm going to treat myself. Can't get him out of my mind. I'm taking Eric Lindros.
Fucking hell, that's a great show.
What a fucking guy. There you go. Enjoy that.
See, my problem is I like to balance my team out straight away. Unless you start picking all of a certain position.
Like that left wing run on the Euro draft.
The European players, we just filled out the left wing straight away. Ooh.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that. I feel like I probably should get a defenseman.
I'm going to take Doug Harvey.
Oh, okay. That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
Yeah, I feel as if there's enough left when we come back around, I'll be okay.
There's a pick that feels a little bit crazy that shouldn't feel that crazy.
That's what I want to hear. Let's go.
No, it's going to be very underwhelmingly crazy. I think I'm just going to take him because why not? I don't think you can ever do too wrong by taking Alex Ovechkin, can you?
Oh, mate, yeah. Great. Yeah, that's what we said the other week. In my opinion, the best goal scorer ever.
He's a pretty good player.
He's not bad.
He's all right. I'd say he's the best left winger out there of all time. In fact,
You know what I'm gonna do?
No, I don't.
I'm gonna try and monopolise my D.
Go on.
I'm taking
another
right D. I'm taking Chris Chelios.
Oh, Chelios. Okay, good player. Very good player. Interesting. I'll join you on the right defenseman train. I'm going to take Sergei Zubov because he's a fucking...
Oh, that was one of the... I was hoping he might have tricked... I thought, you know what? I thought as soon as I take Chelios, he's got to take Zubov.
Yeah, because he's a better player than Chelios, so...
I mean, he isn't, but whatever.
I mean, I'd probably say he is, but... God, I've got some catching up to do here with this side of it. He doesn't like it.
You know what it is? I've seen somebody that I might take out of spite. Just so you can't have him.
Just to be a dick.
Yeah. Just to be a massive dick.
What letters are left that you can be a dick for? Go on, take it. I'm interested now. I don't think there's anyone I'm particularly attached to.
There's certain positions I'm looking at. I'm like, well, I would have taken that guy if I'd had, but I can't because the letter's already fucking gone, obviously.
Yeah. So there was someone that I would have probably taken before Lindros.
I'm going to take... Oh, man, this is tough on that side. I'm going to take left wing Dave Andreychuk.
Okay, yeah. That's a thin letter, that.
Isn't it?
Very, very
surprisingly.
Thin. Yeah, I would have thought there'd be more A's. You keep Dave Andreychuk and you enjoy him.
We can talk about this at the end, but there's a couple of players I'm looking at and thinking, you played this many games and had this many points? No, you didn't. That's not possible.
No, you fucking didn't. But that's our thing with like...
You were never this good.
Just because you've played lots of games and had a lot of points doesn't mean you're good. You know what I mean?
I'd rather be a guy who played lots of games and had lots of points than a guy who didn't play any games and had no points.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
Nah.
Lots of games and lots of points is a good way of showing some success in NHL.
It's definitely not a bad thing. But I mean, if say you're a guy who's played 1,000 games,
I'd love to know. I'd love to know what you consider success, because in doing these drafts, according to you, playing lots of games, having lots of points, and winning cups does not show any kind of success.
It's not. There's not one. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but Willie won 3 cups, and you're like, fucking who gives a shit? Like, mate, you played loads of games with loads of points, and what are we doing?
Give a monkeys.
What is the measure of success? I don't know.
Give a fucking monkeys. No, but it's the one of like, okay, so who's a better player, Patrice Bergeron or Mika Zibanejad?
Oh, I get what you're saying, but
You know what I mean? Like, Zibanejad's still a good player, but you're going to take Bergeron 8 days a week, aren't you?
of course.
So it's that one. It's that one. Do you take the guy who's got 1,100 points in 1,000 games, or is there a guy who's got 800 points in 1,000 games who's infinitely better?
No, no, I do get what you're saying, but it's just funny.
Which is why I'm taking with 350 points in 700 games. Name a hockey player.
We're back on this again, aren't we? You just can't see the woods for the trees. You're like, name a hockey player. I'll just take him. Name anyone.
Whoever it is, I don't care. Oh, there's somebody that... Do you ever in this sort of thing get a player just stuck in your head and like you can't stop thinking about him even though he might not be the right decision?
Yes, every draft we've done.
I've kind of got to take him just so that my brain stops thinking about him, and I'm going to take Jerome again.
Oh, okay. You know what? I just looked at him and I thought, I wonder, he might be a sneaky late pick, but like a really nice little pickup. No, he's off.
He's a very good player. I fucking name any hockey players who ever had a name there begins with I.
That was any good. Do you know how many I've got on my list?
Is it 2? Oh.
No, 1. Jerome McGinley.
Oh, well. Unlucky, mate.
I was like, okay, McGinley, there's no one else I give a shit about. He's the only one I care about.
Excellent. Well, I'll be sorted if I'm stuck with I on the second run through. Did you see the thing floating around on Twitter today that was make a footy lineup with players all with the same number?
No.
Oh,
Jesus.
Fucking naughty little idea.
Did you see that one? There was a terrible one yesterday.
Oh, God.
It was a starting 11. Every player has to be from a different country, and they can never have played for the same club team either.
What the fuck?
So not even in at the same time, you couldn't pick, for example, Ronaldo and George Best because they both played for United. I mean, like that's in.
Fuck.
And some guy said, like, yeah, this is literally taking me 6 hours to do, but I think I've done it.
What you'd have to do is just take guys from like the 50s and 60s and like all the World Cup stars. So like fucking Eusebio obviously never played for the same team or country as like Bobby Moore or whatever, and
Yeah.
just do it that way, and then Pele and etc.
Right, I am triple checking this pick because I think this makes this very dominant for me.
What dominant? You think you're dominant already, do you?
Well, I think when I announced it with my next pick, I'm taking Chris Pronger, lefty.
Yeah, that's going to be a good choice at D. I probably would have looked at Mr. Pronger next. You can.
Ray Bork, Doug Harvey, Chris Pronger. It's not bad, is it? It's all right on my left side.
Yeah, but I've got Scott Niedermayer and Sergei Zubov, so I don't. Sure, you might have 5 defensemen, and I've only got 2, but don't worry, I'm working on it.
Fair enough.
Right, let's.
Go on, mate. What have you got?
I just don't know. I just don't know. Is the question. Let me see. What letters have I got to choose from? Oh, it's hard. It's hard. It's very, very hard.
It's amazing how quick these drafts seem to get a bit thin, isn't it? I mean, we must have probably about 130 players each or something ridiculous, and we get to this point and we're already thinking, oh God, damn, what do I do here now?
I think it's just where you like overthink it, innit? And
yeah, definitely.
You get in your own head a little bit. I'm going to take, with the letter E, the one, the only, Phil Esposito.
Yeah, good. Yeah, nice. I was looking at him. All right.
You're having a little look.
Yeah, but you just Newcastle under Kevin Keegan. We're just going to every game 8-7. Doesn't matter. We're with the current Leafs. We'll just win every game 8-7.
Yeah,
we'll be fine.
We'd probably...
In that case, then, you helped me out there because my next choice was out of 2. I'm taking Marcel Dion.
Oh, okay. You've gone a different direction. I might just do it. Have you?
And just as I love this stat, of all the players left at this point, he does have the highest points per game ratio.
Oh, mate.
Here's a question. After you didn't know how many points, you couldn't believe how many points Yager scored. How many points did Marcel Dion score?
Wasn't it 1,800 or something?
Yeah, 1,771. What?
Average at best.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but was he good? Let's discuss.
Was he any good is the question.
As a centre, did he actually do his job properly?
I mean, you joke, but that's the question that you've got to ask. The man never won a cup, Dan.
It's true. How good can he be?
I think I'm going to bank on the fact that you've got all your D-men and just keep filling up elsewhere. TUVW might be where. Got to go best player available. I'm going to take Sergei Fedorov. Round out my centre core.
God damn it!
So you can have the rest of the centres. I just need everything else.
Well, it does kind of take the pressure off me a little bit, actually.
Yes, but then the problem is with letters and stuff. Like I probably would have wanted to take a winger, but I didn't like any of the wingers that were there. So it's like, well, I can't take fucking Ross Johnson over Sergei Fedorov. That'd be silly.
I mean, you say you can't, Will, but you are in control here.
I've just realised that the number one centre on my board is still on the board.
Shut up, he is.
Yeah, he is. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Has it not been taken at all?
Hasn't been
Still
taken.
Completely available?
No. Unavailable technically.
But still there. Sorry, okay.
I'm not going to say no.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not going to guess. So
don't think about who it is, because I don't want you to take him, because he probably will.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say.
Unless are we doing a snake draft again? So where you got the first pick in this round, do I get the first pick in the next round?
Yeah, I think it's fair.
So I get my first. Okay, all right. Let's have a little look at that letter. Who am I going to take? Oh shit!
Well, no, it depends how it goes, doesn't it?
Oh yes.
Because if I round out the draft, you'll go first next time anyway. Because obviously we're doing in 25 letters.
Yes,
it might come to you first anyway.
Yeah, it will do. It will do. Cool.
Yeah,
right.
So you'll be okay.
Right, I think I know who I'm going to take.
Letter K, right winger, Yari Curry.
Very good choice.
You've got to be taking somebody from there, surely.
I don't know who I'm taking. There's going to be some saving face picks just so that you can't take better players. I think it's probably going to have to be a G, I would imagine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, there aren't actually that many. Oh, that's an interesting shout. Okay, that's a player that I wouldn't have thought I'd be taking.
You've just got all centres. You've got nothing else.
Yeah, look, I've just realised there are certain letters that I've only got centres in as well. So I need to make sure I don't end up taking them. Otherwise, I'll have to.
What are you going to be saying to me? Hang on, can I just go for a second and look at players that start with the letter like F that are not centres, please?
Oh my god! From the letter G, I'm going to take Mike Gartner.
I mean, I was going to say you had to go letter G then for me. I couldn't see how else you were going to do it.
Yeah, there are some other players that aren't exactly bad players.
That's great.
But
Great choice.
He's a good player. He's someone
with yeah.
With
What's out there?
I need to get some left wingers and I need them quick.
Which is why I should be taking some off the board.
Fucking awesome.
What have I got?
So you've got...
Oh, I do need a left winger. I do need a left winger, actually.
Would you look at that?
How interesting.
So you got QTUVW.
I'm taking this player now, but he will be playing, hopefully, on my fourth line. Letter W?
Oh, no. Let me just have a little look. Okay, yeah, I think I know who it is then.
I'm taking Ray Whitney.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good player.
That was one of the ones that surprised me.
Very good player.
It's like he had over 1,000 points in nearly just over 1,300 games.
Yeah, Ray
That's not possible.
Shit up. He was
But yeah,
shit
he
up.
did.
Right, I've put him in on your fourth line, don't worry. Let's get rid of him.
Right, we've got Q, T, U, and V, yeah?
Yeah, Q, T, U, and V. Yeah, I'll take someone who I hope is going to be on my fourth line as well. I'm going to take Keith Kachuk.
Okay. Surprised.
You can't. You just took Ray Whitney. You can't tell me you're surprised at what I've done.
I make a fair point, actually. Fourth line centre, I'm taking Norm Ullman.
Norm Ullman. Yeah, fair enough. Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout, but I'd feel a bit like a fraud for taking Norm Ullman or the other you I've got on my list because I know dick all about him.
Well, we're not going around to you again, are we? Gary Unger?
Gary Unger, yeah. Gary Unger.
Yeah. Yeah, I only had two as well.
How did you learn about Norm Ullman and Gary Unger, Dan? Was it
if you need to ask me that question, we can't be friends anymore. You know how I learned about them.
Oh my
Just
god!
Go to Google hockey players who are good with letter U. Oh, Norm Ullman looks all right, doesn't he?
I tell you what! Shout out to fucking Hockey Reference, who has the ability to just look at all players that by surname.
I've never been on so many hockey stats websites. I went on Quant Hockey for the first time in about 6 years today.
I fucking forgot about Quant Hockey. Jesus Christ!
You have to go there, right? You have to.
I think it's got to be letter V. It's just who do I take? And I think I might get another fourth liner out here. I'm gonna take Pat Verbeek.
That's what I thought. That's your only option.
There's another player that well, there's two other players I've got in my list that are interesting, but I think Pat Verbeek's got to be the one because he was very, very good.
1,062 points in just over 1,400 games. Certainly not a slouch.
No question. So are you taking Quackenbush or what?
I'm going to take as my backup goalie Jonathan Quick.
Oh my god! Fair enough. Yeah.
As we discussed last week, mate. As we discussed last week, the best save percentage and goals against average of any goalie since 1999, and that's only because I didn't look further back than that. Nobody better in the playoffs.
I kind of don't hate it. All right, I'm just gonna prepare myself for round two. Just realised I haven't.
Let's take every single letter out of red and put it back on the board.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Fucking hell, now I've got some. Now we're back to it's the Netflix game again. There's too much choice. What am I going to do? Oh,
yeah, all right, this is what I've got to do. With the first pick of the second round, at right D, I'm taking Larry Murphy.
If I'd have gone first, I couldn't decide whether my desire to screw you over was going to be more important than my desire to fill out a certain position that I had to make sure was done.
You'd have had to
so I couldn't panic about it.
You'd have had to take Mark Messier, wouldn't you? And now I've stopped you from getting... Not that you're now stuck with fucking Tanner Glasses.
Al McInnes and Chris Chelios. Poor me.
I'd have probably taken Messier over McInnes, though.
I was looking at the right D position and thinking, I'd rather get two really, really good ones. In my opinion, two of the better ones. And make sure that I've got at least two. Rather than get stuck in a situation where you've got three and I've got one. So I just thought, well, I'll just get those two. And hopefully I'll come round and...
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's the thing with this where, like, sort of in the heat of the moment, it doesn't feel like there's that much of a difference between, say, Larry Murphy and Al McInnes. But then, if you look back at the teams as a whole, you start to see like the flaws and the holes in the rosters and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very interesting. So I might as well fucking get rid of M because that's donezo now. Nobody's taking M ever again.
No, we're going to fill this out before we get to like the end letters again. So
right,
I want to get this position done and filled out and off my mind. I'm going to take Marty Brodeur.
Oh, good choice. That takes some interesting players off the table as well.
I know. No one's getting Mike Bossy. No one's getting Pavel Bure. No one's getting Johnny Busick.
Oh, mate. I really wanted Bossy.
I really wanted Bossy as well.
Probably should have taken him really, shouldn't we?
My need to sort of my goalie and not get stuck like I did with Spencer Knight. Even though it didn't make any fucking difference, but...
Nah, still, but you probably... I wouldn't have been happy if fucking Jonathan Quick was the best goalie on my roster.
Yeah, exactly. Because people would have been looking at it going, "Oh God, Jonathan Quick." It's like, no, don't look at him now.
Don't think about Jonathan Quick. Don't
think about another player, not Jonathan Quick.
I've got to round out my top four, and I've got to get a fucking shit hot left defenseman. So
I'll say.
I think I'm going to take Paul Coffey. I think. Am I taking Paul Coffey? Is that true? Yeah. What?
Okay.
Who have I fucking left? There's going to be someone that I haven't even got on my list.
Oh, there we go. I am taking a ton of players off the board with this. I'm taking Teemu Solani.
Yeah, good choice. Very good choice. Probably should have taken him, really.
Which means fucking Borja Salming's gone, Daryl Sittler, Peter Stastny, did you take Scott Stevens?
Oh, shit, Stevens. No, I should have taken Scott Stevens.
Matt Sundin, Marty St. Louis, Terry Sawchuk. Could have been a shout as a backup goalie.
This isn't helping.
Sorry.
It's fine.
It's bullseye. Let's have a look at what you could have won.
Right, I should probably get... I'm actually pretty rounded out on the old wingles. I think I might take another left winger. See if there are any good left wingers left. I'm fucking dipping into the archives for this one, but I think it will work out well for me. I'm taking Alex Del Vecchio.
Ooh.
There you go. Can't have Gordie Howe, but I can have his mate. That'll do me.
If I can't get the goal I like, maybe her friend will fancy me.
Oh, I don't need a centre anymore, but no, I'm not going to. No, don't.
Mate, there's still plenty of good centres, isn't there? It's like, there's loads out there. Really?
There was just someone I'd remembered that I didn't even have on my list that would have been useful. But
Okay.
don't need him now, so that's fine.
Yeah, that is the pick. I'm taking Luke Robitaille.
Oh, gee, yeah, there you go. Didn't even have him on my list. What an idiot.
No way.
Yeah, that's an annoying pick for me. Anything's an annoying pick at this stage of the game, really.
While he's obviously a great choice, that was completely tactical. Otherwise, I would have screwed myself over at another position, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have out an option next, so I'm going to give myself that option, so it's not too bad.
It's a good choice. I've just noticed someone that I think I should have taken a long time ago. I'm going to take Denny Potvin for my left defenceman. A lot of puck movers on my bluey. God, you still need a right D. You still need quite a lot.
Okay, because I've left myself with a choice of 2. Whichever position I take now, I'm taking really good player off the board on either side of what I wanted to do.
You probably need a left winger, don't you?
I need my 4th line and a right D, and that's it.
Who have you got on left wing then?
Dave Andrewchuk, Ray Whitney, Luke Robitaille.
Robitaille is the person I didn't put in. Pressure's getting to him.
I'm going to completely pander. I'm going to take Tim Horton, right D.
Mate, you have fucking waste man, Tim Horton. When did Tim Horton even play in fucking World War II?
The man! He played hockey.
Mate, fair enough. You do whatever you want. That's worked out really, really quite nicely for me because I'm going to take Guy Lafleur.
Okay. I'm surprised by that.
I don't like that.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. And don't get me wrong, great choice. Yeah, obviously. But that's not what I thought you were going with.
Oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this. Right, cool. I don't need any more left wingers. I'd be interested to know who you think I should have taken, but you know what I mean? Would have taken.
Do you know what? Honestly, there wasn't anybody I thought you should have taken there. I was just surprised you went with Guy Lafleur, that was all.
Kind of getting to the point where stuff's being a bit narrowed down, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
It's kind of well, alright, I need to take this guy because I can't take anywhere else.
Left wing, I'll take Paul Correa.
Oh my god, how did I not even have fucking Paul Correa on it? That's fine. That's fine by me. Good choice though. Now do I want my left wing or do I want my right D? I should probably take my left wing. I'm going to go ahead. Take Patrick Elias as my left winger.
Okay. Wow. Thank you.
Oh Jesus, whoever left.
I was convinced you were going there. Oh shit, okay. You give me something to think about now.
I really struggled with left wingers.
Okay.
It was too big a pool to pull from.
Yeah, that was quite surprising, wasn't it? Like, left wing was bizarrely represented really, really well. So you need right D and a backup goalie.
I sure do.
Okay.
Annoyed that you took Paul Correa because that's taken some good players off the board. But I think
there was a certain. Well, I can say it now. I thought as a kind of towards the end, I thought Erik Karlsson wouldn't have been a terrible option towards the end.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about taking him next for my right D man. Him or Vlad Konstantinov.
So if I go there, then I can go there. That's not too bad. Just double checking. So it's that one and that one. And there's no one else that I would want. No, there we go then. Right. In that case then, I will take Peter Forsberg.
Yep, not a bad choice at all. Not a bad choice. Pretty good player as far as I'm aware.
He was all right. He
was pretty... made it onto a stamp. Don't know if you've heard.
And there's another surprising one. For the I know we did his stats before, but again, looking at some of these, he only played just over 700 games.
Yeah. Insanely injured, isn't it?
I know. And then some of these, and you got some players on who've played like over 1,500. Like, how have they played twice as many games as Peter Forsberg? That doesn't seem possible.
And yet they're not even half the player that he is.
Yeah. Like, I would pick like not that many players over Peter Forsberg, considering everyone on this list.
It's just a really weird one, isn't it? I'm going to round out my right D.
Right.
I'll take the man, the myth, the legend, Teppo Numminen.
There he is.
There he is. I think he might become my my draft pick that follows me everywhere. Any draft we do.
Like Kevin Nolan and Sam Allardyce.
Yeah, exactly.
Followed him everywhere.
Harry and Redknapp and Nico Cranchar.
That's true. Do you know what? I can't believe it. It actually worked out pretty much as I wanted it to go. Right wing, I'll take Danny Alfredson. not unhappy with that.
He's right, I suppose, if you like that sort of thing. God, with the last pick in the draft, I've got my choice of backup goalies. I take Curtis.
Come on, you got a panda. You got a...
I don't know who I'm pandering to, because I haven't got that many goalies left, because I thought, I've got some good ones. That'll do. I'm going to take Curtis Joseph.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, again, perfectly fine. I thought you'd go with Vesna.
Oh, see, again, did not even get onto my list. Would you?
Because your argument is, how bad can he be? They named an award after him, for God's sake.
He can't be that good.
Can't be that bad.
How many games did he play? Not interested.
You know what? I didn't look actually.
Dude, he played in like the fucking 30s. I'm not taking a goalie.
No, I get it.
I'm taking a goalie from.
But you
want to
sometimes you got to pander a bit.
Get the fuck out of there. Nah, I'll stick with Cujo. Thank you very much. In the same way, I'm not taking fucking.
Yeah, good.
I don't know.
All right.
Whoever you want.
Some fucking great players left off. Some great players just not.
I haven't
terrible.
I haven't got it anymore because I was deleting as I went, so I couldn't. I couldn't mess it up too much. So yeah, Mark Messier's a big one, isn't he?
Yeah, Messier. That is crazy. We're gonna get so much shit for that.
Fucking criminal. Fucking criminal. Well, you should have taken him, really, shouldn't you? Who else? Brian Trottier, Joe Thornton, Gary Unger, Brian Leach, Pat Fontaine,
Alex McGillney. We just discussed him.
McGillney, yeah. I almost chucked him on, but I was like, not interested. Who?
Both Richards.
Oh yeah, the Richards. Fucking hell. Yeah, I'm looking at my decimated list, and I haven't got that many people left to look at.
Brett Hull.
Jesus, yeah, Brett Hull. Fucking, I know 4 hockey players at any given time.
Like we said, Mike Bossy, Johnny Busick, Pavel Bore. Oh God.
Jesus Christ. Evgeny Malkin didn't get taken. Jonathan Taves didn't get taken.
Obviously.
Tom Wilson, Jimmy Vesey. Fuck. So many. There he is. Tim Heed didn't get taken.
Young Tim Heed.
Fucking hell. If you wanna build out some youth from the blue line.
Back to reality. Pavel Datsuk wasn't taken.
Henrik Zetterberg by that point.
Zetterberg, yeah.
Brendan Shanahan.
Ron Francis.
Yeah, Ron Francis.
How many points did Ron Francis have?
Oh, he had like 1,600, didn't he?
1,798.
Fucking ridiculous. But he was
Ron Francis was 2 points off 1,800. I couldn't I just forgot that stat. And looking back at it, I was thinking, there's no way that's possible. He couldn't have that many points.
But that's what I'm talking about, though. Like, who's a better player, though, Ron Francis or Steve Yzerman? I'd say Steve Yzerman is, without a shadow of a doubt. And it's like, but obviously that's impressive for Ron Francis to get that many points, but I still wouldn't take him necessarily.
Dale Howardchuk, over 1,400 points.
There's no letter in the alphabet that is particularly more adept at producing NHL hockey players than any other. Or there is, but
looking at good players, I would say M. M's the best letter player for the hockey players.
Well, yeah, we took Al McInnes and Larry Murphy. good players, very good players.
Good players. That's just how it goes, though. That's the thing. It's so hard. Like looking at I took Al McInnes and I was thinking, I forgot, but in my brain I'm thinking, well, when I come back round, I'll just get Messier then. I'd rather have McInnes out of the gate, so I've got that position locked. I'm done. Already got my top. My 4 is going to be fucking sweet, but and you just forget Messier.
Oh my god! I think looking at it, F's a pretty good one. You got Fedorov and Forsberg that we took. C.
Dude, K,
yeah.
Korea.
Yeah. C for Chelios and Coffee. Oh yeah, Duncan Keith. Ilya Kovalchuk. I didn't have Duncan Keith on my... See, it's that one of with any, like we said before, with any long-term team building thing, when you're looking at sort of all time, it's that balance of leaning towards the players you know that are recent, but also having that thing of right, I don't want to just take fucking Brent Burns, because I know Brent Burns in the grand scheme of things isn't going to go down as a legend necessarily, although arguably he's probably better than some of the players on this list.
Yeah,
Brent Burns is probably a better D-man than Teppo Newman is, or was. He almost certainly is a better fucking D-man than Tim Horton was. That's it though, isn't it? Like, is Danny Drinkwater better than Pele? Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Who is to say?
Yeah, if Pele picks that ball up in midfield, is Danny Drinkwater clattering into him from behind, 2-footed, studs up, teaching him a lesson. Let him know you're there, son. That's what you got to do.
BT Sport presents Lee Cattermole versus Pele.
All right, there we go. Thank you, folks. Hope you enjoyed this one. Obviously, judge us, as I'm sure you will. Will, any last words?
I do have some last words, actually. I want to tell a wee little story. Not my story. Do you know about the marathon from the 1904 Olympics?
I've heard it before. I can't remember it, but I will know it once you start talking about it.
You almost certainly will. I only found out about it today. So let me just list the story that I saw. Shout out to, who was it? Canadian idiot is stressed at Sailor Hannibal on Twitter for pointing this one out. So 1904 in St. Louis, Missouri. The first place finisher did most of the race in a car.
That was it. I remember that.
He tried to drop out and got a cab back to the stadium and then started jogging and sort of realised, hang on, I'm getting away with this. So just fucking rolled with it. The person who came second place, I love this one, was carried across the line and his legs were twitching enough to be considered running.
Like being electrocuted across the line.
But do you remember why his legs were twitching and why he had to be carried?
I do not remember.
He'd been refused water during the race by his trainers.
Oh my god!
And in an effort to circumvent the very lax doping rules, he'd been given a combination of brandy and rat poison as a PED.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Oh my god. And he ended up with the gold when they found out about the geezer in the car. So it fucking works.
He's been taking those Nate Schmidt steaks, hasn't he? That's what he's been doing.
That's the problem. Nate Schmidt's like, here we fucking go, mate. The third place was just a normal runner, which is pretty embarrassing for him, to be quite honest. Fourth was a postie from Cuba who he'd raised the funds to attend the Olympics by running non-stop Forrest Gump style around Cuba.
Oh my god.
When he landed in New Orleans with the intention of moving on to St. Louis for the Olympics, he'd lost all of the money he'd raised to travel on a riverboat casino. And he ran the race in his suit with the trousers cut into shorts. He was wearing a pair of fucking Oxfords and ran a marathon in them. Oh my Christ. So 9th and 12th were from South Africa and they ran barefoot. South Africa didn't send a delegation to this Olympics. They were just students who thought it would be a laugh. And they're the first Africans to ever compete in the Olympics. There was only one water stop on the entire run, and this led to numerous deaths in the
Jesus.
race. And last one, some racers who unfortunately didn't have a finish time. The Russian delegation, they were late to the event, so they couldn't participate. Precisely how late? They were 1 week late, Dan, because they were still the Russians were still using the Julian calendar instead of the Gregorian calendar. And that's
amazing.
That's the tale of the marathon in the 1904 Olympics.
Fantastic. A little bedtime story for everyone.
There you go.
Take care, folks. We'll see you later.
Peace.